Hello! With the exploration of the sources of the Rhone begins a series of 3 episodes that will make us follow, at least for the part that crosses the canton of Valar, the route of the Glacier Express. The complete route of the Glacier Express offers an emotional journey from Zermatt to the no less mundane St. Moritz, a journey that thrills with panoramic views and incredible technical feats. In this episode, number 2 in the series, we will see the area of the Rhone Valley known as the Upper Goms Valley, and so, starting from Munster, we will arrive at the source of the Rhone and then back to Ulrichen. In episode 3, we will fly from Ulrichen to Raren, near Visp, via Brig. But since, although painted in Swiss colors like the famous train, our vehicle remains a helicopter, this leg will be flown over the mountains south of the valley. In episode 4, we will drive from Raren to Zermatt, getting our first glimpse of some of the world's most famous mountains such as Monte Rosa and the Matterhorn. But, as if in an ideal handover, down in front of us we see the famous Glacier Express, the world's slowest express train, running on its way to Oberwald and then on to the Furka Pass. We go there too. The Goms Valley, the highest, vastest valley of the Rhone framed by mighty 3000ers, some of which we will see in the next episode, stretches from Lax to Glech, on the slopes of the Rhone Glacier. We have already seen the westernmost half of this valley in the first episode, now we are going to fly over the eastern half, from Munster to Glech and onto the source and the Rhone Glacier. The quiet villages on the Goms Plateau conceal cultural treasures, around 70 Baroque churches and chapels with their slender white bell towers, as well as old wooden houses burnished by the sun and Valar-style barns enchant the hearts of culture-loving tourists. During the winter, thanks to its location at an altitude of 1,300 meters, Goms is home to one of the most beautiful cross-country skiing Eldorados, with more than 100 kilometers of trails. The Matterhorn-Gotthard Railway provides access to the network of cross-country ski runs from several railway stations on the Goms. 11 snowshoe trails are marked on the Goms. Finally, the multifaceted valley has smaller ski areas and toboggan runs. In the ski, snowboard, carving, and cross-country skiing schools, the emphasis is on awakening the joy of winter sports or perfecting existing skills. In summer, in addition to 700 kilometers of signposted hiking trails, hiking enthusiasts in Goms can count on mountain, glacier, and pass hikes, as well as cheerful excursions to discover the valley, In a word, everything the hiker par excellence desires. Through this gorge is access to the Gotthard Massif. To give an idea of what the Gotthard represents from the point of view of water supply for millions of Europeans in Switzerland, Italy, Germany, France and the Netherlands, suffice it to say that 3 of Europe's major rivers have their source here in the space of a few square kilometers on the peaks of the Massif: the Rhine, the Rhone and the Ticino, the largest tributary of Italy's largest river, the Po. At the Oberalp Pass, a small alpine lake formed by melting glacier gives rise to an outflow that at first appears as a tiny stream that can be crossed by a leap, but soon reveals itself in the mighty appearance of the Rhine, the sacred river of Nibelung mythology that heads towards the North Sea. Below the Furka Pass, at an altitude of 2,350 meters, a tongue of glacier generates. On the other hand, the Rhone, which flows southwards and after bathing Lyon, Arles and Avignon flows into the Camargue on the French Mediterranean coast. Not far from there is also the source of the Ticino, which carries its waters to the Adriatic, flowing into the Po. Below the Furka, the first wonder, the source of the Rhone. Since 2000, the melting process of the glacier of the same name has accelerated dramatically, thinning and shrinking the mantle. Due to climate change and rising global temperatures, the glacier has retreated considerably over the past 120 years, shrinking by more than 1,300 meters. In its place, it has left only a strip of bare rock in some areas. Every summer, Swiss volunteers take it upon themselves to cover the Rhone glacier with kilometers of white blankets in an attempt to minimize melting. The innovative method of protecting the ice attracts hordes of visitors who come to admire the ancient ice scene from a completely unique perspective. Researchers have tried various tricks to protect the glacier. In 2008, a geography professor accompanied by his students installed a huge windshield to trap cold winds blowing down from the mountains and make them stay longer over the Rhone glacier. As one of the most accessible glacier in the Swiss Alps, the latter is a popular tourist destination. Every year, a 100-meter tunnel of blue ice is carved out of the glacier for visitors to admire. The ice cave moves along a large part of the glacier. For this reason, the tunnel has to be resurfaced every year. 8,000 years ago, the glacier was the largest in Europe, even reaching as far as Lyon, France. Now, it is only the 5th largest in Switzerland, and experts have calculated that it could melt completely within this century. So while the Andes are being remedied by painting them white, in Switzerland they have chosen to patch it up like this. Nevertheless, one can admire, but for how much longer, the spectacle of the river rising as an impetuous mountain torrent. It is a spectacle that leaves one dumbfounded and has its own element of mystery and sacredness. At Gletsch, just below, the Rhône has already changed its appearance. He is a young man in his prime. Although it has been closed since 1999, we make a stop at the former military airfield in Ulrichen. In episode 3, as anticipated, we will travel to Rarren, flying over some of the most beautiful peaks that adorn this beautiful valley from the south. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and, even better, subscribe to the channel so that you will be informed about the release of the next episodes. Thank you for watching this video.